So that's okay. No, just move closer because she can see me. I hope that's okay. I'm crowding your space. Tell me.
That's okay. Okay, good morning. This is the April 9th, 2024 meeting of the Hudson Valley Regional Board of Review. The hearing is being held via video conference call at Portland Town Hall, 1 Hetty Street, Portland Manor, New York, 10567. The time is now 9:03 a.m. and this hearing is officially open. The members of the board are Jane Slavin to my left, Shaheen Badali to my right. Joining us remotely is Megan Smaler and Mark Kavanaugh. I'm Marco Generelli. I'm the chairman from the Department of State. Off camera, we have Erica Krieger and Neil Collier. We will now hear the scheduled petition. When you speak, please address the board and give your name, title, and legal address so that our court reporter can have all the information requested. You may have to stop from time to time to consult with our technical staff. In making comments to the board, please provide a descriptive narrative on matters referring to your exhibits to enable a court reporter to enter these into the record. And what we mean by that is if you're going to refer to a particular drawing or exhibit, please indicate what drawing number it is or the exhibit number it is so that we know exactly what you're referring to. Okay, the first hearing is, first petition is petition number 2023-0636. The applicant is Yonkers BV AMS LLC. The petition pertains to a variance to allow construction of a mixed-use multifamily dwelling occupancy groups R2 residential, S2 low hazard storage, and M mercantile construction type 1A fire resistive, 41 stories in height, 1,261,848 square feet in area, and located at 41 Buena Vista Avenue, City of Yonkers, County of Westchester, New York State. The petitioner is seeking relief from 19 NYCRR Part 1221, the Building Code of New York State, Section 705.8, openings, which states, openings in exterior walls shall comply with sections 705.8.1 through 705.8.6. The petitioner is seeking relief to allow openings where prohibited by table 705.8. 19 NYCRR Part 1221, the Building Code of New York State, Section 1205.2, yards, which states yards shall not be less than 3 feet in width for buildings 2 stories or less above grade plane. For buildings more than 2 stories above grade plane, the minimum width of the yard shall be increased at the rate of 1 foot for each additional story. For buildings exceeding 14 stories above grade plane, the required width of the yard shall be computed on the basis of 14 stories above grade plane. The petitioner is seeking relief to allow yards less than permitted. Okay, is there someone, obviously we have nobody here live in attendance, so I assume that the applicant is going to present this remotely. Do we have somebody online that's going to do that? Okay, you have to unmute yourself because we can't hear you.
Sorry, I was unmuted. I don't know what happened.
Okay, there you go.
Anyway, now that I'm unmuted, yes, I'm going to give a brief introduction. I'll tell you who's here from the team, and the architect is prepared to show some drawings to demonstrate some of our distances, and And that's how we intend to move forward. But anyway, my name is William Schneider, Schneider, and I'm with PS&S Engineering here in Yonkers at 1 Larkin Plaza, Yonkers, New York, 10701. And we are the civil engineers on the project. With me today, I have a representative of the owner, which is uh, Ryan Sutherland. Hopefully he is on here. And also with me today is our land use attorney is Mark Weingarten from Del Bello, Donnell and Weingarten, Wise and Werdiker. And also we have our architect, Sarab Goenka from S9 Architecture, and he is the designer of the building. And if I missed anybody, just let me know. But I think that is all we have from our team today. But anyway, you've already given a brief description of the building, and I'll add a little bit to that. Here in downtown Yonkers, there's been quite a lot of redevelopment, some of which is AMS Acquisitions, who is the property owner here. And this building, we call it Teutonia Hall. And as you mentioned, it's 2 towers, 41 stories each. And we are going to do this in 2 phases. And the North Tower will be the first phase. It's about 435 feet tall. And there's Sarab putting up, showing you the site. Now, this site abuts the Metro North railroad tracks on the west side, and also abuts a building known as 92 Main Street, which was the old trolley barn in the city of Yonkers, where we had a trolley system here, and the trolleys were stored there. And that's a building. It was renovated some years ago, and it is owned by an affiliate of the applicant. And it's a fully sprinkled building. And we have a situation on the 2 sides of the building, the north side of the building and on the west side of the building. And as you noted, the variances we are seeking are for percent openings and fire separation distance and yards and courts. And when you look at the Metro North right-of-way, it kind of acts very much like a right-of-way, almost like a public way, in that the chances of a building is being constructed on that property is very unlikely in the future. And we feel it'll probably remain trains for the distant future. And in that respect, since we do not think any buildings will ever be built there, the chances of fire spread from one building to another is then very slim, very similar to that of a street right-of-way. And in that respect, we feel that the purpose of the code can still be achieved, even though there is an internal lot line there between our property and Metro North. Similarly, on the north side, we have a property line with a building which the owner is an affiliate of AMS Acquisitions. And in that, when we're going to demonstrate this, we'll show you some exhibits, so it'll be easier to see. But we're also looking for a similar variance over there. And we feel that the purpose of the code can also be achieved there by limiting the height of that building at 92 Main Street to its present height for the distance that we need, so that there will never be a second story or a third or fourth. I mean, I believe it's already 3 stories, but there will be no additional stories placed on the top of the building adjacent to our building. And in that respect, we feel that the purpose of the code can be achieved to prevent fire spread from one building to another. So that's basically it in a nutshell and in general terms. And I would like to just turn this over to Sarab Goenka, our architect of S9 Architecture, and he can give you his address down in Manhattan. And then let's take a look at our western property line and our dimensions from Metro North. And also then we'll look at the north side after that. All right, Sarab, so let's put up an exhibit and take a look at that.
Sure. Thank you, Bill. Good morning. My name is Sarab Goenka. I represent S9 Architecture, the firm behind the design of this project. Our office is located in Manhattan at 322 8th Avenue, New York, 10001. And I'm going to now take you through a series of exhibits that we've prepared and were also submitted with the variance request at the time, starting with I guess maybe start with Metro North. I know there were some questions about our conversations with Metro North and how we've aligned with their requirements this far. So based off our discussions with Metro North, the criteria for compliance with their maintenance needs was to provide 20 feet minimum setback at the ends of the building from the center line of the first track, where you'll see once I go to the plan, the property line is actually a curve. So the requirement was to provide 25 feet in the middle of the property, which is this dimension right here. And then you'll see this 20-foot sort of dashed line, which was the minimum clearance from the center line of the track to the base of the building. This requirement applied to first 23 feet height from the track elevation, which is depicted in this section. That's the 23-foot minimum dimension, and you'll notice that our building is actually set back for the first 3 stories and then cantilevered out once we meet the 23-foot requirement. So we're on the same page with Metro North in terms of the maintenance clearances that are needed for them to operate successfully. Now going back to the variants, I'm going to walk you through our exhibits, starting with the first one about the openings, the building code section 705.8. And then this is just an image of the building, what it looks like currently, as is currently designed. Metro North tracks on the west side, the trolley barn lofts on the north, the daycare on the south, and then Buena Vista Avenue on the east. You can see the building has a parking podium, several stories, and then 2 residential towers, 41 stories total height, which are to be built in 2 phases. So now going down to our first exhibit, you're looking at the cellar elevation, and the building code 705.8 has different criteria for parking levels and for residential levels. And I have the table up just in case anybody's interested in looking at it. So for the parking is the footnote G, where any open parking garage which is fully sprinklered needs a minimum fire separation distance of 10 feet to allow for unlimited openings. And for the residential portion, again, for a fully sprinklered building, unprotected sprinklered building, no limit for anything more than 20 feet. In our current plan at the parking levels, we are at the minimum. You can see that the building is almost up to the property line. At the minimum, we're set back about 1 feet from the property line, and that setback varies at a maximum of 5 feet. So we range between 1 and 5 feet. This cyan hatched zone is basically the volume of the required fire separation distance that goes beyond the property line currently. So you can see it's about 8 feet 5 on this side, and then it varies from 5 to about 9 feet. This condition continues up through all the podium levels until you reach the tower level. This plan is at the tower elevation. So you can see that's the face of the 2 residential towers above. On the residential, like I mentioned, in order for unlimited openings, we need 20 feet separation. At a minimum, our towers are set back 10 feet 10 from the property line, and that distance increases to a maximum of about 19 foot 3, which again shows you the cyan zone which encroaches beyond the volume that encroaches beyond our property line.
Can I interrupt you 1 second?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, just as you're going through these drawings, just please, point out what drawing you're referring to.
So these are all the, sure, these are, this exhibit set that I'm presenting right now was the supplementary documentation that was submitted along with the variance application. And these were a series of 10 or 11 pages as part of that one single PDF. And it's kind of divided into 2 sections, one addressing the 705.8, the other one addressing 1205.2.
Okay.
So we got copies of these. These are the ones because this has a different date on it.
Oh, yes, it's the same exhibit. I mean, I can print the one that you have. Actually, I just reprinted some of this because really to add some dimensions, some more dimensions. I think there were back and forth clarifications requested for, some additional dimensions in terms of separation from the building. And as such, the design of the building and the location of the towers and everything is pretty much the same, except for the added dimension to give more clarification.
Can you just forward the latest to Department of State when you get a chance?
Sure, will do. Would you need that right now or after the call is okay?
No, it's fine, but after the meeting, if you could just forward it electronically, would that be okay, Neil? Yeah, if you could just forward it electronically to the Department of State.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank
Yep,
you.
we can do that.
Yeah, and then you can just refer to the page number. If all the images were the same as the original, there's a page number on each of these, right? This is code section 705.8, page 3. Is that basically the drawing title?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Codes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can continue now.
Okay. Um, and then in a similar scenario at the parking level, there are no openings because our building abuts 92 Main Street. So it's a lot line condition, but as the building rises further up, higher than the existing two-story building, we have residential windows facing over 92 Main Street as well. This exhibit kind of represents the same 20-foot minimum separation requirement. Our current tower as designed is at minimum about 5'8" from the property line, and then that distance increases to about 15 feet 4 inches. Just the condition showing that in section on page 4 of the exhibit. I'm going to move on to, unless there's any questions about 705.8 in specific, I can move on to the second code section we're seeking a
I
variance
think it
on.
would be good if we could show the 92 Main Street side and the solid, the concrete wall, and how high up are those openings?
Yes. So it's in a section probably better seen. That's the north side condition we're looking at. You're looking at page 5 of code section 705.8 exhibit, where currently, as I mentioned before, the parking podium rises up higher than about 34 feet higher than the existing two-story buildings without any openings, and this is designed as a firewall. The tower portion sets back further about 5 feet 5'8" at minimum from the face of the property line. If we look at the code section 706.1.1, which refers to the separation between stepped buildings, we believe we meet the intent of this code where it requires at least 30 inches of a firewall, and then 15 feet further beyond the roof of the existing building needs to be 1 hour fire rated, which is what our building is currently designed. Our distance is almost twice as much as 15 feet. We're 34 feet along in the similar condition.
Okay.
Going back to the exhibits. Now, the exhibit we're looking at is page 6, code section 1205.2, which refers to the yard requirements. I can quickly pull up that section for reference. 1205.2 yards requires, as mentioned earlier, 3 feet, and there's a calculation which increases by the yard dimension increased by 1 foot for each additional story. For 14 stories above grade, we're computing using this calculation, the minimum yard that's needed for our purposes is 15 feet by code. and this is that 15-foot dimension depicted from the property line to the yard. And you can see the green area is again the volume that goes past the property line. Our current yards at the parking level at the minimum are 1 feet and increases up to 5 feet in the middle of the building. Next exhibit, page 7, code section 1205.2 looks at the upper level, the tower elevation, also considering similar situation where 15-foot minimum yard is required and our distance from the property line for the face of the building varies at a minimum of about 10-foot 10 at the ends, and in the center it's there are portions of the building, as you can see, comply with the minimum 15 foot. This particular building on phase 1 has a 52 feet long portion that does not comply with the 15-foot yard requirement. On 92 Main Street side, again, 15 feet minimum required. Our distance varies from minimum being 5'8" to let me just double check that. To 15 feet. Yeah, I mean, these are the exhibits that we have prepared and were also submitted with the application. I'm happy to answer any questions or go back to any of the exhibits if you need to talk about more, anything more.
And I just wanted to make clear where we are with the in the process with the city of Yonkers. AMS Acquisitions completed a lengthy DEIS and then an FEIS. And right now, the city of Yonkers has issued a site plan approval for this property. And that's where we are with the city at this time.
Okay. Is that it for your presentation?
Yes, that is all we have at this time. Unless I know that Mark Weingarten is on the phone from our land use attorney, if maybe he would like to say how he would like to limit the height of 92 Main Street and of course any dealings with Metro North.
Thank you, Bill. For the record, Mark Weingarten, partner in the law firm of Del Bello, Dinellen, Weingarten, Wise, and Wiedeker. We are located at 1 North Lexington Avenue, White Plains, New York, 10601. Thank you for giving us the time today. As Bill mentioned, I have been the land use attorney on this project. I think Bill understated it a bit. We went through more than just a lengthy process. We were well over 2 years into a DEIS and environmental review on what we thought, which was not just this project, it's part of a 3,500 unit development on 3 project sites in Yonkers. And this is the largest development ever approved. It was a rezoning requirement in the city of Yonkers in its downtown. And while there has been building that has been taking place in Yonkers over the years on the waterfront, most of it has been low rise in recent times. Very little has been on the high rise variety, mostly because of constraints, market constraints, rent, and things of that nature on the economics. And therefore, we have this project we're trying to get off the ground, and we believe this will be the spur and the impetus to finally get to the next level of what's needed in downtown Yonkers, right near the train station, for a TOD development like this. My partner, Peter Wise, who would normally be here, unfortunately couldn't make it today. I'm filling in for him. Peter was the attorney who worked with this board on similar variances that were granted in Chappaqua on an affordable housing project where they had a similar situation with the Metro North tracks. Peter has been conducting negotiations with Metro North on this project, similar to the one that we were successful in getting variances before. And therefore, it hasn't been a very difficult negotiation, as there's already really a roadmap for us to be successful. Peter tells me that we have an agreement in principle with Metro North for an easement agreement between the two entities in which there will be no building or structure located within the restricted project area, so that there would be no safety concerns on the portion of the site facing the west to the railroad tracks, so that we would effectively accomplish that there would be no building or structure within that limited area. I assume it would be a 99-year lease term, easement. If we do an easement, I'm sorry, if they require the lease, it would be it would be 99 years. If it's an easement, it would be in perpetuity. The second issue is the issue of having a similar easement for the area above the plane for 92 Main Street. And we represent again, it's an affiliated company that owns that property with the developer of this particular site. So whatever the conditions are required to be in that easement agreement with Metro North, we could easily we could easily have an agreement between essentially similar parties on the 92 Main. So that's the legal background of the discussions with Metro North. And surrounding this, we think that with the exhibits that you have from both PSNS and S9, together with our willingness to enter into a condition of having an easement restricting the building in those areas, that we meet the safety requirements, and we would request the variance. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, so at this point, what we're going to do is move on to questions from the board members. So we will start with, I guess we'll start remotely with Mark Kavanaugh.
Thank you. Couple questions, mainly points of clarification. The building to the south is the Queen's Daughter Day Nursery. And I didn't see anything in the write-up regarding that, so I'm assuming that there are no variance requests for that. That is all compliant with the code requirements. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, perfect. The other thing I noticed in your write-up of March 25th, 2024, you mentioned the wind assessment would be was performed, and I think what also said was part of the record. I did not have it in my package. I don't know if the other board members did, but I just want to make sure we do have the wind assessment so that can be part of the record. Did the other board members get that, or?
No, we did not. There was reference of a wind assessment in the package, but we did not receive the actual document, the wind assessment document.
Okay. We did send it up, but I believe we sent it up. We may have missed the time that Neil needed to distribute to the board. But we can resend that as well as that the plan that Sarab was gonna send.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I just want to make sure it is with the package and part of the record for the purpose of this hearing.
Okay, so I mean, do you have any objection making that part of the record, Mr. Schneider?
No objection.
We agree. We agree.
Okay, thanks. Go ahead, Mark.
The other, let me just look at my notes here. Oh, yes, just some clarification again on the cantilevered section that goes the overhang to the west. I believe I heard that that's going to be it's rated. Is it rated at just the bottom of the cantilevered section, or is also the west face going to be fire rated?
The west face is going to be fire rated and the underside, both.
Okay, perfect. And then looking at your architectural drawing A900, or excuse me, A902, which shows the elevation. It appears that the north elevation has no openings until at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 stories before you first seeing your first elevation. or first seeing window opening. Is that the correct configuration in design?
Sure, yes. Up to a certain height, the trolley barn lofts building is up against our building, so it's a lot line condition. Once our building rises up above beyond that is when we're hoping to propose new
And
openings.
so Rob, wasn't that dimension on the plan of 34 feet?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you. I didn't, lots of drawings to review. But thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Okay, so we'll continue remotely. We'll go with Megan.
Sure. My first question is, how far is the train station from this building? And the reason I ask, is when a train is there ever a train stopped in front of this building, where this building will be?
So the train station is right here. You can kind of see in the Google map. I can measure the distance if you give me a second.
No, I don't need that's fine for the record. I personally don't need an actual number of feet. I'm theoretically thinking, does a train stop and sit in front of this building at all stationary?
Well, as far as cargo or anything like that, I do not know, but Yonkers Station is a main station for Metro North. So when you are riding that train, every car opens on a platform in order for people to leave. It's an express stop, as I mentioned. Um, so that's about all I know is, could something theoretically, I guess anything's possible, but on a regular basis, every car opens on the platform because of its being a main station.
Okay, and that platform looks to be from the Google image that is being shared with us right now. Yes, beyond Main Street. It starts past Main Street to the north of 92 Main, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Um, has anybody talked with the fire department about this? And we do have something from the city of Yonkers, but has the fire department been able to review this and have any input?
Yes, the fire department has reviewed the project. They reviewed it through the environmental impact statement process, and they also reviewed it during the site plan approval process, and which they were able to agree with the design in order to get site plan approval here. As far as percent openings on the side, the fire department did express some concern of something maybe stopping on the track there. But, we feel that's very, very unlikely. And the same condition happens along any major highway or even on Buena Vista itself, where you're allowed to have openings because of the fact that it's a public way. So we feel the very same condition can happen, and it's probably no more dangerous than, say, having a building on, say, Riverdale Avenue or at Buena Vista itself, where those openings are permitted. Well, that's our opinion in the matter.
Okay. On sheet A202, the west elevation, down at the very bottom floor of the parking garage, which would be presumably at the track level, you depict, you don't call out, but you depict two man doors opening out onto that yard. Are those meant, I'm assuming that's what those are. Are those, could you confirm that? And are they simply for service or maintenance, or are they meant to be for required egress from the space?
Yes, we do have 2-man doors, and they're purely for maintenance access only and not for egress.
Okay. The easement or restriction that you are proposing for the 92 Main Street building, would that height limit be over the entire footprint of that building?
No, I mean, I think our proposal would be to limit it to the area that it needs to be restricted to. So maybe it's approximately
20 feet.
20 feet is what our proposal would be.
Okay. And my last questions are regarding sheet A901. If you could zoom it, so the train in this image is much smaller than an actual train would be. Is that a correct statement? Your overhang is at 23 feet?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to confirm that. But earlier in the hearing, you stated that the 23 feet was the minimum that Metro North is requesting, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And then this image also shows a gap between 92 Main Street and your building, which does not exist. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It's a graphical error. We can fix that. I apologize for that. But yes, our building is right up against the 92 Main Street.
Yeah, these renderers, they get all fancy and make it look all great for marketing purposes, and then boom, something like this happens. I think that that's all my questions for now, Marco. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Megan. Okay, so we're going to transition to the in-person members here. Jane, you want to start us?
Sure, thanks. I'm looking at P4 of the presentation. I just want to be clear as to what is the actual distance in the blue that is the required fire separation distance that would be in question? There's no actual distance for that.
So if I get your question, you're asking how far we are and how much, like, from the face of the building to the property line?
Correct.
So the reason there's no dimension here is because, the property line is curved, and it's better seen in a plan view, let's say on page 2 of the exhibit.
I understand that it varies. What's your minimum?
The minimum is a foot at the ends, 1 foot, that's the minimum. And then it increases up to 5 feet.
Okay, so from the property line to the face of the building, at minimum is 1 foot, and then it increases to 5, and the requirement is 20 feet?
The requirement is 10 feet at the base of the building, at the parking levels.
And what would the requirement be to the residential units?
So the residential units is 20 feet. On the residential floors, at a minimum, we are at 10 foot 10, which is depicted here. And it increases up to 19 foot 3 at the maximum.
I think that's what Megan answered or asked my other question, so.
That's it? You done?
Yes, I am. Thank you,
Sorry.
Marco. That's okay.
We'll move on to Shane.
Okay. Just have a couple of questions. Would you please clarify the current distance between the two towers right now? Is that 81 foot 5 inches? It appears to be depicted on one of the elevations or the front plan. My follow-up question really to that is, was any consideration given to an alternative where the towers would be closer together and therefore a side yard requirement would not be an issue?
I'm so sorry, Chairman. I'm not sure who's speaking right now.
This is Shaheen Badali. He's
Could you spell that
one of the
for
board-
me?
You want to do that?
Yeah, SHA, I like India, N like Nancy, B as in boy, A as in apple, D as in David, A as in apple, L as in Larry, Y as in Yankee.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So the question was any consideration given, or would the code permit the towers to be closer together, let's say by 10 feet, whereby you would only have a 70-foot distance between the towers and therefore have the required setback? Or is there a constraint that does not allow that?
The building code does permit moving the towers closer together, but one reason why the towers are located this far apart is what we went through as part of the site plan approval process, where the city wanted us to create more distance between the two towers, especially because these are taller towers and they wanted to maintain the visual corridors of visibility to the palisade from the rest of the neighborhood. And as this dimension was as a result of those conversations with the city. So even though the distance is more than what's mandated minimum in the building code, the wider distance is a result of our discussions and request with the city during the site plan approval process.
Is it your understanding that they had consideration of these side yard requirements in making those decisions?
My understanding is the side yard and were always depicted in our package. Bill, maybe you can speak more to that, but I would think, don't want to speak for the city, but
Oh, I understand. I just was trying to understand the basis of it, and it was a good answer. Thank you. My secondary question is the existing building at 92 Main Street. Is it historic in any way, or is there a tendency that limits you from just demolishing a portion of the building? And reapportioning the lots?
Ryan, are you on to answer that question about the tenancy at 92 Main?
Yes,
Identify yourself.
yeah,
Identify
sorry.
yourself, please.
Yeah, sorry, I'm on. I apologize. I'm in the car, so I'm not visible. This is Ryan Sutherland. I'm the Director of Design with AMS Acquisitions. So to answer your question, 92 Main Street is a fully occupied residential building. And as such, we wouldn't look to demolish a portion of the building or re-tenant it. I mean, I think the main entrance to the building is kind of in proximity to the Teutonia site. So that's just another reason why it just wouldn't work from our end to do that.
So it would negatively impact those tenants, is what you're saying?
Well, yeah, and we would also lose, residential units if we were to demolish a portion of that building.
Thank you. Great. On the windows themselves, so as I'm exploring the plan, I just am curious to understand. My first question is the garage openings. If I'm correct, the windows or the openings, I'm sorry, they're shown on the rear of the elevation. Those meet the setbacks, the ones at the lower floors on the west side elevation, the lower floor openings shown. Those all meet the required setbacks. Is that correct?
yes, this portion of the building is
Right.
set back, and then the screen portion, the one that's tagged SCR1, protrudes further out.
Right. And then, so my follow-up question to that is that there are some openings in the garage that do require this. And are the openings in the garage, is that an aesthetic item? Is that to provide ventilation in the garage? If you could just elaborate on the need for openings in the garage?
Yes, it's to provide more natural light and ventilation into the garage. Yes.
Thank you. All right. The windows in the residential portion of the building that are contained within the setback, are they fire rated in any way?
They're not.
Is there a sprinkler curtain provided?
No, not as currently designed.
Is and the sprinkler system, is there any additional protection that we should be aware of, or is it just a standard NFPA 13 system with an automatic standpipe.
Yes, a standard NFPA 13 system.
Right. I will mention for the record, I would have been more comfortable with an actual computation to display the percentage of openings requested versus what is required. I do think that that information was omitted, but I would like to see it. And I personally do think that it'd be very important in Yonkers to get direct communication from the fire department on it. I think that their plan review is competent, and I would love to hear directly from them. So, and that's all my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Shaheen. Yeah, I mean, several of the issues that the other board members brought up, I would echo that. I mean, and in particular, what Shaheen just said, I would have loved to see something in writing from the fire department. Given that, you know, 3 sides of this building is not, you know, accessible from fire department standpoint, and I know that that Buena Vista Avenue, according to the survey, is a 50-foot right of way, and then if you subtract out the sidewalks, I would imagine you're probably down to about 30, 35 feet. And then I know that I believe there's parking on both sides there. And I don't know what the situation is going to be after the building is built, if one side is going to be restricted or not. But it's pretty tight. Is this going to be a rental or a condo, or anybody know that?
Rental.
Rental,
Or 100% rental?
yes.
Okay. And then going back to the agreements or the agreement with Metro North, I know, Mr. Weingarten, you had mentioned that there was a similar agreement with the Chappaqua site, which this board, I believe we granted a variance to that project several years ago. Was there any consideration taken during the drafting of that agreement, the type of rail traffic? Because I know that at the Chappaqua site, I think it's pretty much 100% commuter rail traffic there, whereas this site has commuter rail, it has, you know, freight. Some of that I think has garbage in it, and I know Amtrak also uses those tracks. Was that taken into consideration?
As I did not participate in the conversations, I can't answer that question. I can endeavor to get it. It did not, but as far as I am aware, it did not come up in our conversations having to do with the Chappaqua property.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I think that's all I had. So at this point, what we're going to do is open this up to any questions or comments to the general public. So I'll open it up first here to anybody in person. Being that there's nobody here, I assume that there's no comments from the public here. So we'll open it up to anybody who is joining us remotely that would like to ask any questions or make any comments regarding this application. Okay, not hearing anybody. At this point, we're going to, unless there's anything else from the applicants, before we go into deliberations, is there anything you want to add? Okay, not hearing anything.
Not at this time, thank you.
No, we're good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so at this point, we're going to go into deliberations, and we're going to go off the record.
On the record.
Okay, so we're back on the record. Before I ask the applicant, Mr. Gibbons, do you have any comments that you want to make regarding this project or this petition?
Thank you. I agree with the state on the alternatives that may be suggested by the applicant to improve the issue of just open access at the parking lot. So I'm in favor of that, representing the city of Yonkers.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so, Mr. Sutherland, I understand you want to make a comment?
Yeah, so to address the board's concern, an alternative we're willing to pose and that we will pose is that we will close up the lower floors of the parking garage and the one floor up to the first floor of parking and make it a solid wall to alleviate any issues or concerns of fire spread from the tracks to the parking garage itself.
Yes, on the first level.
What's that?
And the first P level.
Yeah, the lower floors, including the first parking level.
Great, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that wants to make any comments or has any questions? Okay, not hearing anybody. Megan, do you have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. With respect to the petition of Yonkers BV AMS LLC, petition number 2023-0636, the petition pertains to a variance to allow construction of a mixed-use multifamily dwelling, occupancy groups R2 residential, S2 low hazard storage, and M mercantile, construction type 1A, fire resistive, 41 stories in height, 1,261,848 square feet in area, and located at 41 Buena Vista Avenue, City of Yonkers, County of Westchester, New York State. The petitioner is seeking relief from 19 NYCRR Part 1221, the Building Code of New York State, Section 705.8, openings, which states openings in exterior walls shall comply with Section 705.8.1 through 705.8.6. And 19 NYCRR Part 1221, the Building Code of New York State, Section 1205.2, yards, which states yards shall not be less than 3 feet in width for buildings 2 stories or less above grade plane. For buildings more than 2 stories above grade plane, the minimum width of the yard shall be increased at the rate of 1 foot for each additional story. For buildings exceeding 14 stories above grade plane, the required width of the yard shall be computed on the basis of 14 stories above grade plane. The board makes the following findings. 1. Subject petition pertains to construction of 2 41-story residential buildings over a 6-story parking garage and ground floor commercial use and recreational uses on the 7th floor. 2. Applicant requests relief to allow openings in both the parking garage and residential structures where prohibited by fire separation distance requirements and yard requirements in the code. 3. Applicant proposes to provide no build easement agreements with adjacent property owners as an alternative to strict compliance with the code. 4. That the Board of Review find and determine that the issuance of a variance in petition 2023-0636 will not have a significant environmental impact and will not have a significant adverse effect on any significant fish or wildlife habitat, scenic resource of statewide significance, important agricultural land, or area included in an approved local waterfront revitalization program, and the Department of State be authorized to sign and deliver on behalf of the Board of Review and the Department of State, the State Environmental Quality Review Act Short Environmental Assessment Form, indicating that no or small impact may occur in response to each question in Part 2 of the form, and determining in Part 3 of the form that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. 5, The local code official has been contacted in this manner and supports the granting of a variance under Part 1205.5. In accordance with the above findings, the board finds strict compliance with the provisions of the Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code would entail practical difficulties or unnecessary hardship and would be unnecessary in light of alternatives which ensure the achievement of the code's intended objective, or in light of alternative which, without a loss in the level of safety, achieve the code's intended objective more efficiently, effectively, or economically. And granting of this variance would not substantially adversely affect the Uniform Code's provision for health, safety, and security. Wherefore, it is determined that the application for variances from the above noted sections be granted with the following conditions. 1, that permanent no-build easement agreements with the Metro North Railroad and the property owner to the north shall be filed as part of the approval documents. 2, that the wind assessment document shall be included as part of the record. 3, that there will be no openings in the west facade at parking levels SC3, SC2, SC1, C, and the parking entry level. 4, that no electric and hybrid vehicles can be parked along the west wall on floors SC3, SC2, SC1, C, and parking entry. The decision is limited to the specific building and application before it as contained within the petition and should not be interpreted to give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Megan. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Jane Slavin seconds. Before we vote, is there any questions from the applicant?
No questions from my end.
Okay, so a vote of yes is to grant the variance and a vote of no is to deny the variance. Mark, you want to vote?
Aye.
Mark Kavanaugh votes aye. Megan?
Megan Smaler, aye.
Jane?
Jane Slavin, aye.
Jane? Aye. Marco Generelli also votes aye. The variance has been granted. Thank you.
Thank you for all your
Thank
time
you.
and consideration.
Okay. That's it, right?
Take care, everyone, and thanks.
We're off the record.